Greetings and welcome to the latest episode of Bottom Line Triangle. I'm excited about this episode because my passion for sports in general, but also the business of sports. Three well-known guests will join us as we delve into the business of golf, soccer, and baseball, along with the impact of university transfer portals. We'll also look at how a small Wake County town has put itself on the map as a pharmaceutical powerhouse. We'll be right back after a short message from our sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina.
I am so
Why can no one help me?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Welcome back. Today we have three special guests with us talking about the business of sports. With me today is Adam Gold with 99.9 FM. What do you call this now?
The Fan?
The Fan. 99.9 The
Called
Fan.
that?
Yes. Kate Rogerson, sports reporter with ABC 11.
Yes.
And John McConnell, who runs McConnell Golf, who started McConnell Golf, owns McConnell Golf. How many courses do you have now, John?
We own 16. We manage 2 other ones.
There you go. So since John is here, let's talk about golf. And I'm sure you guys have plenty of questions. John, give us an overall sort of analysis as to, post-COVID. And I know 24-25 was pretty major year. Give us some idea as to how McConnell Golf is sort of shepherding this.
I think golf's in a very sweet spot right now. We have full memberships at most of our urban clubs, and we're not alone in that. A lot of participation. This past year, I think rounds were up approximately 3% nationally. So whatever fallout we might have expected from the post-COVID years has not proved to come to fruition. So I think it's a very healthy sport. People are finding out it's a lifetime sport, and I'm seeing a lot of younger children, kids, and females coming out to enjoy it now.
So I was just looking at the USGA report that came out a couple of weeks ago for 2025 numbers, and these are basically people who have indexes. So these are probably real golfers. 3.68 million golfers with a handicap index posted a record 82 million scores in 2025.
And that's just John.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, John, who among you have 16 courses, which has been the most profitable? Is it
Most
Raleigh?
profitable, I would say Porter's Neck in Wilmington was the best acquisition we've made. The Fazio Golf Course, rapidly growing community, and 12 months of the year, it's golf and all the other sports associated with the country club.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to play at some of John's properties, and all of them are really, really good. I would love to do an in-depth analysis of all 16, John, if you would allow me.
Sure.
I would rate each what he did with Raleigh Country Club when he bought it, bringing it out from where it was to what it is now, and the fact that it's back hosting a professional event.
Right.
It's an incredible job that John has done. Really, you use the term shepherding, just creating that, from one course, many. I think should be on the dollar bill.
Yeah. And not to forget, among tournaments, you have a PGA tournament in one of your courses.
Yeah, we have a PGA at Sedgefield and Greensboro. We have 2 Corn Ferries, one in Raleigh, one in Knoxville, and we're getting ready to get another course in Richmond that 2 years down the road we'll have a Corn Ferry event at it as well.
So you are what when you buy properties, I know you sort of look at what the property is financially for lack of a better term, let's call them distressed properties. You like buying distressed properties.
They're not distressed anymore.
I know.
They're beautiful.
That's the problem. They've gotten too valuable and too pricey. So we've been, much slower on acquisitions than we were in the past, just because of the availability of key properties, plus increased competition from I call it private equity firms trying to get in the same market.
Yeah. And the valuation wise, do you see valuations like multiplying with every passing year?
Yes.
That makes it very tough, doesn't it?
If you're trying to acquire, it does.
Especially for a private business. I mean,
Right.
you don't have billions.
But we are finding, unique properties. And I would say originally I only looked at the golf course when I made an acquisition. I learned very quickly that it's about how many rooftops there are around that golf course from a business perspective that make it successful.
You think the Triangle area with the population can support maybe a couple of more country club type, luxury, high-end golf courses?
It definitely could. There's a real shortage of good public play courses in this area. And one of the reasons we took over RGA was I wanted not to let that product or that facility go to land development, but to keep it as a affordable public play golf course.
Yeah.
I would say right now, the best public golf courses are the university courses.
Probably. I agree with that.
And they're all very good, by the way.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
They're very good. I think all three of them are very, very good. Yeah. And it's still affordable. I'm not sure exactly how they, price, whether there are some university restrictions as to how much Lonnie Pool or Duke University, but they're still sort of affordable to play. We are in a great place. Right?
I think they're all in about the same place in terms of a daily fee.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all wonderful places.
Yeah. Kate, let me get to you about Duke, and we can sort of talk about and generally talk about university transfer portals. I know, Adam, you have talked about it a lot in your show.
I got a lot of time to fill.
Yeah. What's the mood around Duke when these one and done things? I mean, do they all care about is win? That's it?
I would say, yeah. I mean, that's kind of just the current state of college basketball in this entire country is maybe not so much one and dones, but people are chasing the NIL deals. They are trying to find ways to go to the NBA and become these pro players with big contracts, but also development. And that's the biggest thing about Duke. It's been a big conversation the last few weeks with this current team. John Shire's team last year lost all 5 starters to the NBA. This year, right now, they are ranked number 1 in the nation and look like a clear number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. They're going to go in more than likely as the number 1 overall seed. Not only did they lose all 5 starters to the NBA, but the number 1 and 2 choices for Rookie of the Year in the NBA both came off Duke's roster in Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel, and they were roommates. I don't know what they were
drinking.
I will just leave it at that. But they were. Con Knippel has been just tremendous. I know Duke fans are like, how did we not win? It's hard to win. Really is hard to win. So they got to the Final Four. That's a win in and of itself.
And more than likely, they're probably going to.
I mean, though, they're going to put themselves in the best position to win.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
So tell me about the impact of NIL in, say, football, right? UNC, Carolina, and then I know you pay very close attention, John, to Virginia Tech. Give us a sort of an insider look as to what exactly is going on with this and how bad is it going to get, really?
Before I answer, I'd be interested to know what John thinks of Virginia Tech football.
Sure.
No, seriously.
Do you want to get him going?
I do, because we won't have time for the Virginia Tech football story, but the Virginia Tech is one of those places in the league that the ACC would benefit from its reemergence as, forget about a national power, but even a regional power, because they were one under Frank Beamer. So I'd be curious, because James Franklin is a star.
Yeah.
So if you might have some insight as to how James Franklin is doing. I think everything I hear on the ground is pretty good.
I think his first request was he wanted $30 million for NIL. He got it. He's been a very experienced, proven recruiter along the Mid-Atlantic states. So I think from Virginia Tech standpoint, he was the best possible hire on paper they could have made from anywhere. So I think the fans are re-engaged. I know the money's flowing in. The university's has committed $250 million over the next few years to the sports program. So that's the problem I see is if Virginia Tech's doing it, what's State going to do? They're going to have to re-up their commitment and all these other teams as well. So the ones that are going to be, I call it falling behind, are going to be Wake Forest, Boston College. They just don't have the alumni base and the state university support that, the Clemsons and the Virginia Techs and Florida States will bring.
So the portal itself, the window's closed, right? It closed technically during the season.
Yeah,
There's a spring portal that will open at some point for these schools, for these kids that stay for spring ball, which doesn't really exist anymore, and if they want to transfer before the summer and the start of the season.
So we can have another wave of...
Yeah, we will.
Yep, we will.
We will. It'll be in the summer, which is fine.
Yeah.
I understand it's harder for coaches because it's harder to recruit and maintain a roster.
Yeah.
But this is just the pendulum swinging the other way because for decades, players had no freedom. And if they wanted to leave, you had to wait a year, which we could argue whether or not academically and for reasons that are not necessarily athletic, why it was better for them. But the notion that we're here to do anything other than win football games, to me, is a joke. So let's just look at it what it is. The schools are trying to make money on football. The players are trying to find the best situation for themselves. Freedom of movement.
But to John's point, this looks like a clear winners and losers scenario. You have the money, and you're going to get
schools,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and eventually, and I've thought about this for a long time. Eventually, we'll get to a place where the schools that are interested in spending, and it'll probably be more than $30 million annually, the schools that are interested in spending that will separate themselves into another league, and the schools that are not will maintain where they are. And I think football will separate from the other sports. And I think we'll go back to maybe a little bit more sanity, not only sanity within teams, but sanity within conferences, with even basketball and other sports. So we won't have Carolina play at Cal and at Stanford on a weekend that's inside the ACC.
Right.
That's where I think college sports is headed for football breaking away.
So you're basically saying football is going to be structured pretty much quite differently from rest. And that may include sort of putting all the teams that have the money in one group. And then
we sort of have it now. We have Division I basketball, where 360 some odd teams play Division I basketball. And we have Division I football. Not all of those schools have football teams. Sure. Mm-hmm. And it's separated by a dividing line between FBS and FCS.
Yeah.
So I just think we're going to have another line.
Yeah.
And within that, when we talk about NIL and spending and teams wanting to win, if you look at last year's NCAA tournament, the Final Four, it was all 4 1 seeds, and all 4 of those programs had large NIL budgets. So the teams that have the resources probably are going to win more games because they can get the players and build the rosters they want. And within that, if you have the roster, if you win, you get the money, you get the TV rights. And
so I just say, John, this is going to be a very expensive proposition.
It's going to be very expensive.
They're all going to be members of John's Country Clubs.
There's also heightened money-raising activities going on in Virginia Tech. But I think the one thing about NIL, the positive thing, other than for the players, is that it does bring a level playing field to schools that historically couldn't compete against Ohio State,
Texas
Alabama,
Tech,
et cetera. So you look at Indiana, what they've done.
Yep.
That's all about money and
Ole
coaching.
Miss,
Good coaching.
my alma
Ole
mater.
Miss. Good coaching. Good coaching and money create a better competitive environment.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we got a few more minutes. I wanted to really talk about this. We have written quite a bit about this. Is the potential of us getting a Major League Soccer. I know you have talked about that, or baseball. So if you have to, what do you think? I mean, because I read something, Raleigh was not even mentioned in any of those, either soccer or baseball. What is your take, Adam?
If About 10 years ago, I would have said we were going to get a Major League Soccer franchise. Steve Malik, unfortunately, his financing kind of fell through. I thought MLS was definitely interested in Raleigh. And then David Tepper realized that, I could put 25 or so more events in Bank of America Stadium. And he suddenly became a soccer fan, which is fine. I think right now, Raleigh is mentioned as a very strong candidate for Major League Baseball. Tom Dundon is interested in bringing, whether it's an expansion franchise or a relocation, he is interested in bringing one to the Triangle. And could it work? It all depends. And you guys would know better than I, do we have enough corporate financial support for Major League Baseball, NHL hockey, and the three major universities that play essentially professional sports, football or men's basketball, not to mention everything else that goes on here, including the Carolina Courage. Because the NC Courage, that's the highest level of women's soccer in the world, really. It's a better league than what's going on in Europe. So do we have enough corporate support for that? If they determine yes, then I think Tom Dundon will do everything he can to bring a team here.
So, but don't you think you're going to get a lot of pressure at the college level to go after those same corporate dollars now?
Yeah. And that's why I think it's another professional.
I think it's going to be much more challenging with NIL for the pro sports people to get those corporate backings.
No doubt.
And baseball, man, that's 164 game season, 82 home games. You look at what is the population, 2.2, 2.4 our MSA.
We're right on the edge, I think, of enough wealth to do it.
Wealth-wise, I think we
are
on
the edge.
Yeah, we are.
And we have baseball fans here. We just don't have a dedicated team.
Yeah. But they do talk about, it seems, Nashville, Salt Lake City, Portland, even Charlotte to some extent, Montreal, again, talking about it.
Raleigh is a much bigger market than people think. It's much bigger than several major league markets right now. It's a bigger market than Nashville right now. So, and it's growing. So,
and you have outstanding college baseball in this area.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So you've got a strong nucleus of interest in the sport.
What about soccer?
I don't think we'll see men's soccer and MLS unless baseball is not even a thought anymore. What they've done, what Steve Malik has done, and I'm not blaming him, I just think that they had a hard time staying and playing and being successful at their highest level. And for whatever reason, this market didn't really support their level of soccer. The women outdrew the men. Yeah. Again, the women are playing. It's the best soccer in the world in the NWSL.
And frankly, I think the soccer craze is going to come starting in June when it's going to be suddenly everything sort of will make sense for whether it's John Cain or Steve Malik. But to your point, we had John Cain here last week who basically said that we want to build a stadium and we have already started the process of getting $250 million. So
I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be downtown. It's going to be part of downtown South. So last question, and John, it's sort of with all the money that is now, there's like competing interests for sports, both in college and professional. For a town like ours that has only one professional team in the Carolina Hurricanes, but we have several college teams that sort of play almost on a professional level. If you you look at the draft as to what these schools are graduating. What do you think? 5 years from now, what do you think is going to happen from your perspective? I know you own golf courses, but you're a very astute business of sports kind of person, because you and I have talked about this before. What do you see is going to happen to all this?
I think this area will continue to grow. It's going to get better, bigger, more successful in all facets, whether it's education, industry, sports, etc.
So, which basically means there is a bigger chance and better chance to get another major league team.
Yeah, I've been here 50 years, and I can't imagine what the next 20 is going to look like in this market. It's going to grow, 2 to 3 times faster than it has, in my opinion. The more you travel around, the more you realize how lucky we are to be here.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that. Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Kate. And thank you, John, for joining us. We'll have you back in a year, and we will make sure we have all the quotes ready from this show so we can double check as to who was right. Thank you. We'll be right back.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting
This is
to
a nightmare.
work. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Well, welcome back. Today we have Zach Azone, our healthcare and life sciences reporter. Zach, you did a pretty in-depth piece a few weeks ago on a small Lake County town, Holly Springs, becoming sort of a national powerhouse in the biotech space.
Yeah.
So I'm sure pretty much everybody asked you, like, huh?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
what do you, I'm doing the same to you, huh? So what would your answer be?
What's the question?
How did this happen?
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. That was, we see these announcements come right over the past few years, and we can go into more in depth, but you saw Fujifilm, Amgen, Genentech, these just big, really big names in the biotech industry announcing multi-billion-dollar expansions into Holly Springs. And yeah, the question is why? How did they position themselves that way? So that was sort of what sort of initially started the idea for the story. And yeah, I guess what I found out from speaking with town officials, developers, people involved in site selection, and other folks, is that this effort really started in like the early 2000s. The town at the time sort of did this assessment, or to try to study if they could take advantage of their position in the broader Triangle area and make themselves a sort of biomanufacturing hub. And so that's sort of what it traces back to, is this assessment that they did, more than 2 decades ago, and then sort of that laid, then they've sort of tried to lay different plans on top of that to make it come to reality.
But clearly it is working. It looks like I was looking at your list of Holly Springs major employers, CSL Seqirus, is that
Seqirus? Yeah.
Seqirus?
Yeah.
Then you have Fujifilm. You have Amgen. Now you have Genentech.
Yeah, that'll be on there soon. And those Fujifilm, the numbers that we have for Fujifilm and Amgen, I mean, those are all those projects are not even fully built out yet. Right.
They're going to be
still
built out.
early.
And is Novartis too or did they close that one?
So Novartis is CSL Seqirus. Okay. Initially, that was a Novartis facility, and then CSL Seqirus.
So
Seqirus now operates
these are big companies.
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting about it. They're big companies, and they're companies that have do a lot of revenue. They have resources. Sometimes we see, and we follow economic development all the time, right? And we'll maybe write about a company that's coming in, maybe, I see it in gene therapy all the time. Company coming in to build a facility, but they have like one product. They have one thing they're trying to do, right? And then if that fails, the company fails, right? Because that's kind of how biotech works. Yeah. But I mean, the companies that they've sort of been able to pull into Holly Springs are, they're these big global biotech companies that have some real resources. And, I guess maybe the hope is for the town that, that means they'll stick around through the different ups and downs of the biotech industry.
Did they do any R&D there, or is this all manufacturing?
I think so. It's mostly manufacturing now, but the R&D could come, right? Because sort of how this started was, again, like Sougata said, it was the Novartis decided to build a vaccine manufacturing facility in Holly Springs. That opened in 2009, which again is the Seqirus facility now. And then there was a bit of a lull, I guess you could say, in projects until Fujifilm came, and now Fujifilm Biotechnologies announced a $2 billion project. That's now a $3 billion project. And then again, Genentech and Amgen have followed. And so those are all big manufacturing projects, but there's also, different, there are developers building smaller facilities that are just already sort of built and they can already just handle either small scale production or R&D. So I think you might see R&D as sort of like more R&D going there as sort of the next phase of all this.
So, it's kind of interesting also, R&D pays more than manufacturing, just pretty much. But I don't know if it's true in life sciences, pharmaceutical.
I mean, we'd have to compare. I don't really have those numbers off the top of my head, but I mean, the numbers that they give for some of these manufacturing facilities are pretty high, like average wages of $120,000. You don't know what that includes. Is that maybe some operational roles that up at the top that kind of swing that? But I mean, they're
the
pretty
labor,
good paying.
What I'm getting at jobs. Is, the availability of labor, because you're creating a critical mass, to Becky's point.
Yep.
Is labor becoming easier to find if you put your facility in Holly Springs? But either way, it is having an effect, because I was sort of comparing Raleigh's average home and Holly Springs' average home. Of course, a lot of RTP workers live in Holly Springs as well, that Western Wake area, Apex, Holly Springs, Gary.
Yep.
I mean, that's over 600,000. I mean, and whereas Raleigh's still at 450. I mean, they're both going up. I mean, that one went up 20%, 25% in the last 5 years. And having these kind of big companies giving you, we've been hearing about 120,000, 140,000. I don't know what that entails in terms of salaries, but you have a feeling that it's probably just going to keep on going up in order to get that labor to come and work there.
Yeah, you would think so. And this is something that I've spoken with folks about before. It's just that with all of these big, and it's not just in Holly Springs, but this is a broader sort of thing to look at, is with all of these different manufacturing facilities coming online. I mean, we're talking, if all these projects fully come to fruition, we're talking thousands of jobs in the coming, whatever it might be, 5-10 years. And do we have the workforce for that? I mean, so far it seems like people think we do, and we have. You have programs at the community colleges that specifically are built to train these type of manufacturing positions. Obviously, the universities. So, it doesn't seem to be like people are concerned about that yet, but it's something that's definitely on my mind.
They do have to pay attention.
In terms of the impact on the town itself, you crunched some numbers on the tax revenue, and it's pretty much doubled property tax revenue in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So what kind of impact has this had on the town and the growth and where it's headed?
Yeah, that's it's definitely something I spoke to the mayor and the economic development director in Holly Springs about. And like you said, property tax revenue has doubled or more than doubled, whatever the number was. The population, I think, over past I can't remember how many years, 15 years or whatever it may be, has doubled. It's growing. They're bringing in a lot more revenue from both the growth they're seeing on the residential side and then the commercial side. And one of the things that they're doing or that they're looking at with this growth is right now their tax base is about 70% residential and 30% commercial. They think with these projects that are coming online, they could shift it more to 60-40. So less reliant on residential property taxes and more reliance on the commercial. And that'll ideally bring in more money that they can, build out roads and address some of the transportation concerns that are popping up in the area, and have more resources to.
This really is a fascinating development, I think. Holly Springs becoming sort of this life sciences powerhouse. We are going to be obviously following this story, and maybe in a few months you can come back and tell us as to how things are going. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Great stuff.
Best Places to Work isn't just an award, it's a culture movement. Companies recognized as best places to work see real results. 21% more profitability and 18% higher productivity. 91% of job seekers check your brand before applying. High engagement reduces turnover by up to 59%. Best Places to Work helps you attract top talent, benchmark success, and celebrate the culture that drives growth. Nominate your company today.
Thank you for tuning in to Bottom Line Triangle. We'll be back again next time with more in-depth business news and analysis. So make sure you like and subscribe.